Times front page for Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House Foreign Affairs Committee ranking member Michael McCaul has issued a report claiming the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 leaked from a lab in China. Congressional reporter Joseph Clark reports the committee's investigating team said several key findings pointed to a leak, including the unexplained removal of a Wuhan Institute of Virology database in September 2019, Chinese officials' expressions of safety concerns, and unusually scheduled maintenance at the lab. A wet market in Wuhan was initially determined to be the source of the coronavirus, but that conclusion has been thrown into doubt as many have pointed to research work at the lab as the potential origin point for the virus. Speaking of the coronavirus, the Pentagon's looming COVID-19 vaccine mandate for all troops threatens to push the military into yet another culture battle, this time over personal health choices versus the collective responsibility to prevent deadly outbreaks in the ranks. Pentagon correspondent Ben Wolfgang reports Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is moving expeditiously to determine how quickly the military could carry out vaccine and testing requirements. The move will surely prove unpopular in some corners of the armed forces, but legal scholars say it is virtually certain to hold up in court. Pentagon figures show just over 1 million troops are fully vaccinated. That includes active duty forces, reserves, and National Guard troops. As of June 30th, about 68% of active duty troops have received at least one shot of a COVID-19 vaccine. The military has reported a total of about 313,000 COVID-19 cases, and just more than 4,300 of those required hospitalization. In politics, Tom Howell looks at the race for the governor's mansion in New Jersey. New Jersey Democrats have been unable to get one of their governors reelected since 1977. Incumbent Governor Phil Murphy hopes to change that, and his bid is the first big test of the party's agenda and staying power after winning the White House and control of Congress last year. Murphy has a double-digit lead in polling and the advantage of greater name recognition over Jack Ciattarelli. In a Rutgers Eagleton poll from June, 52% of registered voters said they would back Murphy, and 26% said they supported Ciattarelli. Two-thirds of Republicans say they back their nominee, but 83% of Democrats supported Murphy. Ciattarelli is sharpening his attacks and pointing to the impact of COVID-19 restrictions on small businesses. Property taxes remain high in the Garden State, and residents are also still waiting for Congress to restore a state and local tax deduction that benefits residents of high-tax states, but was capped in the 2017 Republican tax overhaul. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George for a subscription offer. An education nonprofit says top universities have developed 3 tiers of justice for students accused of sexual misconduct and other offenses that stack the deck against defendants. James Varney reports researchers at the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education examined policies for adjudicating complaints at 53 top universities, particularly complaints involving sexual harassment. 44 of the 53 top-ranked schools were graded D or F when it came to safeguarding the rights of the accused, according to the report. The report found schools have one set of procedures for covering offenses under Title IX, another for sexual misconduct offenses outside of the school's control, and a third for all their non-academic offenses. And finally, President Biden's $1.2 trillion infrastructure package has begun to be debated in the Senate, and congressional reporter Harris Alec looked at some of the details that senators will be hashing out. The package will greatly expand funding for the Appalachian Regional Commission, the agency responsible for promoting economic development in the 13-state region of Appalachia. The agency is led by Gail Manchin, wife of West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Also tucked into the bill is an obscure line that amounts to a massive carve-out of the president's Buy American pledge, which would allow federal agencies to offshore some jobs funded by the package. Republicans are calling for a robust amendment process on the package, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is pushing for a final vote by the end of the week. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.